Well, time doesn't heal all wounds. Lisa Tokes made those remarks to 10 TV 2 years ago. It's now been 4 years since her daughter, Reagan Tokes, was murdered.
10 Investigates recently spoke to Lisa about her push for change, advocating for legislation named after Reagan. She says it's needed to fix gaps in the state's parole system.
Gaps first exposed by 10 Investigates. Here's Chief Investigative Reporter Bennett Haberly.
In the 4 years since the murder of Ohio State student Reagan Tokes, her family has committed to a theme: take something tragic and make it something positive. The transformation from this murder scene to this dedicated green space inside Scioto Grove Metro Park is reflective of the kind of change Lisa Tokes would like to see happen here.
It is just really boggling. The innocent lives are at stake, and innocent lives would be saved with this preventative measure.
Lisa spoke to us from her Florida home, where she expressed frustration that the final portion of legislation named after Reagan has failed to gain traction in the Ohio State House. While a sister bill changed how violent criminals are sentenced, the other portions of the Reagan Tokes Act are still outstanding, including changes that call for increasing GPS monitoring of ex-prisoners and reducing parole officer caseloads. Reagan was 3 months shy of graduating from Ohio State when she was kidnapped, raped, and murdered. The students who were freshmen that year have since graduated. Reminders to Lisa of missed opportunities.
Reagan would have turned 26 this year, and I was 26 when I was pregnant with her. And so I think there's some significance of that, and just the element of time and being aware how much time continues to progress and what we have missed out on, and all the milestones that would have occurred by now that we didn't have the opportunity to have with her and never will have.
A University of Cincinnati study released last year found there are large costs and limited evidence that widespread use of GPS would increase public safety. But Lisa says the current system has already failed more than once. Reagan's killer, Brian Goldsby, was a violent sex offender released from prison homeless in late 2016. Because of his past, no halfway house would accept him, so he was assigned a GPS ankle monitor. But no one closely monitored his whereabouts, and there were no guardrails limiting his movements. It was only after his arrest that authorities checked the data on that GPS device and found Goldsby committed a string of violent robberies in the German Village area in the weeks and the day leading up to Reagan's kidnapping. The data also placed Goldsby in the park where Reagan's body was found.
Our daughter lost her life over this flawed system. This is our reality that will never go away, change, or get better for us.
Lisa tells me it's still hard to talk about all these years later. Hard to talk to reporters, hard to talk to lawmakers and convince them that change is needed. But she says if it's necessary to put herself out there, put her family out there, she will, if it means flipping that narrative. In Grove City, Bennett Haberly, 10 Investigates.
Now, State Representative LaRae, who chairs the House Criminal Justice Committee, released a statement to 10 Investigates. It says COVID played a role in limiting how often committees could meet and therefore did not allow for adequate time or capacity for witnesses to provide testimony on House Bill 166. I believe the bill is an important piece of legislation, which is why a first hearing was held for the bill back in April. I look forward to scheduling future hearings on the bill once the House Criminal Justice Committee is able to meet.